Though once a popular martini drink, vermouth has been mostly forgotten for more than a century, well, at least in the United States, but not anymore.
Not anymore. We're here to tell us how and why vermouth is making a big American comeback is the founder of Brooklyn-based Uncouth Vermouth. I love that name.
Uncouth Vermouth.
Uncouth Vermouth is Bianca Miraglia? Miraglia. Bianca Miraglia. Welcome to the show.
Welcome,
Thank
welcome.
you for having me.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
It's nothing like a Friday to kick it off with drinks, right?
Yeah, happy Friday.
Happy to see you. So happy to see you. So vermouth has always been popular in Europe, but it really fell off in popularity in the U.S. So why is it so back in a big way?
Well, I think that people neglected to pay attention to vermouth after the repeal of Prohibition.
Oh.
And even though, you know, there were some vermouths made in the States, shortly after that, the companies kind of petered out. And so now, starting in 1999, we had Andy Quaddy in California who came up with Via Vermouth. There have been 6 of us pop up since then. I'm the newest of everybody and kind of doing a different style. So if we say that most vermouths are like the Carpano era, 1850s style vermouth, my vermouths are more like early 16th century.
Okay, so what is then the more traditional vermouth, and you know, what are some of the differences in taste that we'll be able to experience?
Traditionally, vermouth is...
What is vermouth exactly? Because I always get a martini with vermouth in it, but what is vermouth?
So vermouth is an aromatized fortified wine.
Okay.
So basically you take wine and you add a bunch of, you know, let's call them edible plants. They can be botanicals, roots, fruits, barks, flowers.
Like you have mint here, for example?
Herbs, yeah.
Okay.
I use a lot of mint in certain vermouths I make. And then you fortify it, which means that you're just upping the alcohol content. So you're strengthening the alcohol by adding a fruit spirit like brandy, or grappa, same thing, different region, you know, which is distilled grapes.
Distilled grapes. Okay, so your company is called Uncouth Vermouth.
Yeah.
And you're putting an unconventional spin on vermouth. Explain.
Yeah, well, I guess my style is sort of, you know, my interpretation of what a vermouth made in New York should be like. I don't add any sweeteners or sugars or citrus fruit or anything that doesn't grow around here. So even though
Very homegrown then.
Yeah, very homegrown. A lot
And
of
it's
the herbs,
hard, like the streets of New York.
Totally. Absolutely. And it's fighting to survive.
So what are some of the flavors that you have? Because I know you do a little twist with it.
I do seasonal flavors. So I get a little creative since I can only use stuff that grows around here. So I'm not using vanilla or for the most part, no baking spices. So I'll use things like beets. I have a wild raspberry vermouth here. I'll let you taste one. This is one that I made specifically for Rouge Tomate, which is a restaurant on the Upper East Side. And I make seasonal vermouths actually in the restaurant for them. And so this is a summer seasonal, and it's a combination of black and Bing cherries. So it has kind of a darker color to it.
The darker the berry.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And for me, it's a dry vermouth because I use a dry wine base.
Okay. Now I know Lola had mentioned that a lot of times she's familiar with vermouth, putting it in martinis and Manhattan drinks, but you're just pouring it straight.
Yeah, well, if it's a good vermouth and it's a true aperitif, it should be drunk alone. However, you know, they hold up in cocktails just as well. I can show you guys a traditional martini if you like with some newer. So this is a gin. It's from Evanston, Illinois.
This is very interesting.
How does it
Thank
taste? What is something?
I can't quite put my finger on it. It has like
It's herbal, but it's bright and crisp.
Yeah.
Do you taste the fruit?
No, it feels like the's like a lot going on in it. It's complex.
But good complex.
So
huh?
the fruit,
Yeah, it's interesting.
the fruit is infused in the
figure it out.
water.
So just keep on drinking,
I'm
Lola.
doing my research.
So I'm going to do what's called a traditional London Dry martini. I'm using actually an American gin. This is made in Evanston, Illinois, and I'm going to use my Appleman, which is kind of my answer to a dry martini vermouth. Bone dry, just herbs and wine and brandy.
Oh,
So
mixing it
equal
up.
parts.
Equal parts. Let's fill it on up, huh?
Yeah, we have a lot of people to feed.
We sure do.
Now, does it make a difference that you're mixing clear and dark, or how does that work? You know, I've
What do you
heard
mean?
things about that, like the colors of the actual alcohol that you're putting in?
Oh, well,
Am I totally off?
that's a clear gin, and actually,
He doesn't drink.
you'll
Yes.
be surprised because here, I'll show you this by itself as well.
Okay.
But this is actually a very light colored vermouth,
Okay.
and so I'll let you try that one too.
Okay. And what's this one called?
So this is called Appleman, which is very
Applemint.
deceiving on my part. It's actually a type of mint. There are no apples in it at all.
Yeah,
There's
I don't
also
smell
orange
apples.
mint, and motherwort, and feverfew, and mugwort. So equal parts.
Okay. And then what comes next?
So that one is more bitter and dry.
Yeah, this is bitter and dry.
Okay.
So
There was a sweet,
so that's it.
spicier
I don't
one.
know.
Where's that one?
Sweet and spicy.
yeah, we can try that one.
Yeah,
too.
let's try that one too.
We'll have to
So
try
we'll
them
give
all.
this a
though.
little
Let's
stir.
research.
Definitely.
Okay.
Can't try them all. We got to do the rest of the show.
Oh, yeah.
So this is just a traditional half and half martini.
Nothing ever bad happens in a martini glass. I have to
Nothing
tell you.
ever.
Beautiful.
So you can garnish it however you like. I personally like just using like a little wheel of lemon and let it float.
Okay.
That is
that.
very pretty. Now, while Lola is tasting that one, let's talk a little bit about these labels because they are a little different. How did you come
Yeah.
up with the creation of your labels there?
Well, I have a very dear friend who lives in Paris, and his name is Matthew Rose, and he is a collage artist and assemblage artist. And he actually very generously donates his artwork to my labels.
Oh, okay.
And so every different vermouth I make is going to have a different label, a different color. I name them basically after what I think they smell like the most to make it easy on everybody. Because there are generally 15 to 25 different plants in everything I make.
Okay.
So if you want to try the sweet, spicy one.
Make
Okay,
use
so
of that.
while you're doing that, how did you even get in the vermouth business?
I've been working in the wine industry since I was 19. And I moved out
But
to
you weren't
Oregon.
even old enough to drink.
I was old enough to bartend.
There you go.
I basically threw my cat in the car and I moved out to Oregon.
Wow.
When I was 20, and I started working in wineries. I ended up working for a few dozen different wineries out there, and then realized I didn't want to be a winemaker. Very important realization, I think. So I moved back here. I'm from here, and I just kind of started messing around, kind of reconnected myself to nature by making vermouth and foraging for different plants and things. And
That
yeah,
is
it just
good,
kind
and
of
that is
evolved from
strong.
there.
It's good and strong.
That is good and strong.
I had a little boost here to help you out
Yeah,
there.
we're gonna have to save
Now-
that
Yeah,
for
right.
after the show.
I know. While you
I'll
guys
trade you.
takes the other one.
So here-
and I have to ask you a little bit more about your business because you're
Sure.
located down on the waterfront in the Red Hook area. So were
Yeah.
you really affected a lot by the Superstorm Sandy
Oh
and
yeah,
the effects? How did that
yeah,
affect
we all
business?
were.
Yeah.
It was a 7-month setback for the most
Really?
part. I'm incubated in the Red Hook Winery, and that's right on the end of Pier 41. So if you know where the Statue of Liberty is, right across the water is our pier.
Okay.
And so we were at the end of the pier. We had 9 feet of storm surge. So yeah, it was a
So you had to rebuild as well.
bad luck. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine. I mean, honestly,
Drink up.
I can't. Yeah, right? I know. I can't complain. I've slept in a warm bed every night. So
amen.
even though as a business it was a major setback and it will probably take about at least 5 years to really recover from it, I couldn't be happier in terms of waking up and feeling good.
Well, you have something to get you out of bed just in case you do have a down day, right?
Yeah.
Cheers to that.
Yeah.
Where can we find some Uncouth Vermouth?
You can find it. I self-distribute mainly in New York City, so Chambers Street Wines, Union Square, Astor Place will have it. If you're over in Brooklyn, Slope Cellars in Williamsburg, Bipper and Bell.
And on average,
So-
how much do your vermouth sell for?
They sell for around $38 a bottle.
That's
Reasonable,
reasonable.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually a really nice gift if you're going over for a dinner party.
Totally, very unique. They're all small batches. I never make more than 60 cases at a time, so
okay.
really tiny production.
Well, now that you
How
guys
does
are...
I'm sorry, really quickly.
go.
How does vermouth age? Can you keep it around for
Sure.
years
Oh yeah.
and
Just
years?
just treat it like wine.
Okay.
Keep it in that 60-degree honey spot. Don't let it get too dried out or too hot.
All right.
Well, now that your company is back up and running, what's next for you all? Do you see yourself making some other creative flavors?
Sure, absolutely. I'm always experimenting. And at Rouge Tomate, I make a different custom flavor for them every season, which is something to look forward to. And also, I just got my own commercial space.
Congratulations.
So I'll be moving out of mom and dad's house, so to speak, at the winery. Not that they're my mom and dad, it's Mark Snyder, but I'm going to be in my own space, and then I can, experiment a lot more and, kind of operate under my own hours and have a tasting room.
Nice.
Okay, well, cheers to you, Bianca.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
There we go. Cheers. Thank you. And
This
you're
is actually
watching
really
Arise
good.
Entertainment 360.